Hello and welcome to the November edition of Extra. I'm Joanne Hines.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Here at Extra, we bring you expanded coverage of recently broadcast features from Sun City News.
Let's start with a story that evokes gratitude in this month of Thanksgiving.
So many in our community are thankful for the services Bluffton SelfHelp provides. I had a chance to catch up with the executive director of Bluffton SelfHelp to learn more about their outreach.
987 households receiving over 300,000 meals, all made possible by Bluffton SelfHelp. Let's learn their story as it especially evolves in these different times. Kim, when I went to the Bluffton SelfHelp website and the banners reading Helping Our Neighbors in Need, reading your website, you've got several areas where you do find those needs. How do you address those?
Absolutely. I mean, really, we address food insecurity and hunger right here in our community. There is about half of our population here living in Bluffton is living at or below the livable wage, and that's huge. That means they're economically vulnerable, and they're just one crisis away from a financial snowball. And so if we can help them kind of address those needs by putting healthy, fresh food on the table, help keep them in their homes, prevent homelessness or eviction or loss of utilities, put clothing on, and then help them on their personal pathway through our education and resource center, then we really are doing our part. Our whole goal is to break that cycle of poverty, help people in need, and help them on the pathway to success.
It's obvious the food collection portion of this. Give us a little more detail of how your volunteers fit into the other aspects, like you said, the educational resources.
Yeah, well, I'm smiling right now. I know you can't see because we love Sun City. Sun City provides so much in terms of food collection, volunteers, financial support for us, and we honestly wouldn't be here for our neighbors without such a wonderful community, and that's what it's all about. Food collection is so important. 100% of the non-perishable food items are all donated. The perishable food items come from second helpings, and then we kind of offset the rest of that as we see fit. But our volunteers help us in terms of packing food, sorting food, collecting food, attending community events, everything to being mentors for our individuals and families who are on that pathway.
Explain a little bit more about the mentoring role.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, we opened Beaufort County's first and only education and resource center. And the idea was to provide collaboration, coordinated services, and very well strategic programs to help people find their pathway to success. And we do that. We know all of us in our lives have had high quality, advice, whether that came from a parent, a teacher, and we know that advice and that mentorship is really, really important as somebody is changing their trajectory. So if somebody comes to us to work on a resume, tells us they want a career change, tells us they're trying to get, out of a bad situation, we will help them along the way. But it's that one-on-one coaching that really makes the difference in their life. And that path is different for everybody. It may be getting their free GED, and we can help them, we can tutor. It may be getting a different job. It may be working on their resume. And so the whole gamut, and we stick by them along the way.
That's excellent. And certainly, again, above and beyond what we're seeing here, all those other layers that you provide. And that's, of course, done by your volunteers. Is there any way you can tell us how many volunteers you have, and really, has COVID impacted their efforts?
Yeah, sure. I mean, safety is and has always been our number one priority. And we typically operate with about 220 volunteers annually. Because of COVID and safety issues that we wanted to put in place, we're down to about 10 to 15 weekly. So we depend on them. We only have 5 staff, but our volunteers really help support us along the way. Slowly we're getting back as things are reopening to, help with food drives and things like that, where we can help mobilize our volunteers in a really safe way. But for right now and the near future, we're going to continue to operate that way until we can get back.
Now, I know you said you have many people from Sun City helping you out, but just give us one reminder, how do people get in contact with you to participate?
Well, definitely through our website. We always list kind of what our greatest needs are at that time. In the holidays, it's holiday type food, and we will need some of that food as we, go into those holiday months. Sometimes it's financial contributions to help our COVID relief fund, help people who are, facing a loss of their home or homelessness. We post those things on our social media, like us on our Facebook page. We often, make a lot of connections between what's in the news and how we're help supporting some of the issues here and how we're really providing solutions. So best way to stay in contact with us is through Facebook, our website, or give us a call.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all this information and uncovering some of the layers of a very well-known entity, Bluffton SelfHelp.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Robin, tell us about the volunteer role you have here.
Okay, well, before COVID, what I did was sort groceries that came in from donations. I really didn't have any contact whatsoever with our clients then. But now my role has changed since we have so few volunteers because of safety precautions. So I am doing food distribution on Thursday mornings. We have about 100 cars that come through, and we give them a bag of produce, which we have put together in the morning. We give them 2 bags of groceries, some meat, dairy, some hygiene products. So that's what we've been doing since, I guess, March, and that's my role now.
Now, you're a Sun City resident.
I am.
And we've all moved there for lots of reasons, to be active agers, lounge at the pool, etc. Why do you volunteer?
When I retired, when I lived up in Ohio, I decided that I was going to retire and I was going to work part-time, and I was also going to do community service. And I started volunteering at a food pantry there. And when I moved down here in 2015, I started volunteering at Bluffton SelfHelp right just after Hurricane Matthew. And so I've been doing this once a week ever since. And it's amazing how many people need help in the area. We even see, when I'm doing food distribution in the back, I do notice that there's some Sun City decals on some of the cars that come through. So even our neighbors need help sometimes.
What would you say to people who might be thinking about getting into a volunteer position?
I would say some people do it for the social interaction with the other volunteers. Right now we don't have too much of that because we are really, really, really working hard and don't really have a lot of time to socialize. But it is so rewarding. The people are so grateful, and you see that there are people from all walks of life. It's not just families, there's older folks that come, there are some that are disabled. There's a lot of people in our area that need help.
We have a lot of talent in Sun City and energy to share. Thank you for representing Sun City. Thank you for all you do for Bluffton SelfHelp.
You are very welcome, and thanks for coming today.
Of course, our Sun City neighbors would be volunteers at Bluffton SelfHelp. Their efforts are very much appreciated.
Now, our next story spotlights the charitable efforts of a Sun City couple. Joanne?
Reporter Margie Bruiser met up with Sun City residents Rich and Ann Morgan, who excel at animal rescue.
We're delighted to be here. We have the pleasure of meeting some rescue pets and Rich and Ann Morgan.
Thank you, Margie. We're happy to have you. And my hubby here, we've got pretty much the whole family here. This is Bad Boy Murphy. I am told he's quite the celebrity in Sun City. He's actually the one that got us started in the rescue business. We rescue everything. We rescue wildlife when needed. We rescue domestic animals, but Murphy is the one that started it. And when he moved to Sun City 5.5 years ago, he became Bad Boy Murphy, which our lovely Facebook team named him because he was eating a lot of remotes. But how he got started with Murphy, he was rescued as a stray in Alabama, transferred to a high-kill shelter in Tennessee. We got a hold of him in Northern Virginia and found out about within 24 hours, right, Rich?
Yep, the next day.
He was bullet-ridden. He has, I don't know if Bob can focus, but he has an entry wound right here between his eyes and one under his jaw from being shot. and he has hundreds of buckshot in his face and all. Ironically, this dog, who should hate humanity, turned out to be the most loving dog, most loving animal ever, and is now a therapy dog, heavily involved in the tail wagging tutor program here in Bluffton, works at the various schools and stuff like that. His personality is very docile and all that. We fell in love with Murphy, who got us started in rescue so much. We fell in love with him so much that we decided we would adopt another Great Pyrenees because they're just gentle giants. So we found out that Atlanta has a Great Pyrenees rescue organization, and that's when we went to Atlanta and got Guinness, who has his back turned. So we went to Atlanta, picked up Guinness as a puppy. He doesn't have much of a story. He's just a friendly 120-pound Great Pyrenees that loves the dog park. From there, we got Keeper, our cat.
And this little girl is named Keeper, and she's got an interesting story. Ann and I were coming out of Walgreens right out here in Oakity one evening. It was about dusk, and I saw just momentarily out of the corner of my eye a black shadow under my car. Ann was waiting in the car for me to come back, and I looked under the car and I saw this tiny little kitten that literally so small it would fit in my hand, hiding under my wheels. And I knew I was in trouble because I couldn't back out. I obviously couldn't leave the cat just let him there. And if I told Ann there was a kitty there, she's going to want me to rescue the darn thing. So I was kind of in a dilemma. And the next thing I know, Ann and I are now out of the car. I'm crawling under the car to pull this little kitty out. Well, the little kitty is now not a little kitty anymore, and she's a big cat. And her name is Keeper, thanks to some of the friends on Sun City website, the Facebook site. They said, "Oh, she's so cute. She looks like a keeper." Well, next thing
In fact, you ought to name her Keeper.
next thing we know, that's her name. So this one here was probably never going to survive the night if it hadn't been for that little glimpse of her under my tire. And she wants to go because of our new addition that she isn't quite adjusted to yet. This is the new addition. This one's only been here a couple days, and so we're waiting for
Thanks to
Keeper.
Julie.
Yeah, Julie, a Sun City resident named Julie called Ann one evening and said, "I've got this cat at the place where I work, and she can't survive on her own, and I don't want to leave her go. And all the places that normally would take her are closed for the weekend.
Him.
Can you keep him for a night or a weekend?"
Foster.
Foster. So here he is. Here he is now, and the foster has turned into an adoption almost immediately. And his name is RJ, which I'm told stands for Rich Jr.
Facebook named him.
And so suddenly we have a second cat. And I don't know how this happens to me, but it does.
Well, so now you've met our domestic family, and I hope Sun City will become very interested in fostering, because there certainly is a need. Although RJ is an example of a foster fail because we fell in love with him, and it's called a foster fail when you fail at fostering. However, and now he's adopted. However, from there we grew into the wildlife. Sun City has so much wildlife around here. And I went on to educate myself with Google and rehab folks, and we have rescued baby squirrels whose mother got hit by a car and they were just abandoned, and it was winter time. I rescued a 3-legged turtle, which the leg had just been eaten by an alligator. Most recently, though, my greatest success story is the baby bluebirds Rich and I rescued from a mailbox. Please, everybody, do not allow birds to nest in your mailbox because it's asking for trouble. But I did rescue them.
Imagine what would happen to those magnificent creatures if not for people like Rich and Ann.
That's true, Georgia. We always appreciate learning more about the community around us. Georgia, tell us about First Friday.
Thanks to SCTV reporter Chris Chase. She always gets updates from Jasper County officials. Here's Chris with the latest information.
We're here at First Friday with Harry Williams, the mayor of Hardyville. Now, Harry, you were recently in a meeting with the governor. What exactly went on?
Well, actually, we had a press conference at the Riverport site, which is the road that will lead to the new Exit 3. And the governor, Senator Graham, all our state legislators, including Tom Davis, Weston Newton, Bill Herb Kurtzman, Margie Bright Matthews, and Sir John Williams, Jasper County Council, all of Hardyville Council, Mayor Solka from Bluffton, Joe Passaman from Beaufort County, and it was a celebration about the new Exit 3.
Well, it was a celebration too, wasn't it your birthday?
It's my birthday, and I will say it's the first time I ever had Happy Birthday sung to me by the governor of a state. So that was kind of a neat thing.
Now, are there any new projects, any new land purchases?
Well, there are a couple in the works around the city, but they're still under development. We did approve last night, right next to the charter school and across from our new recreation center, will be a new development called Royal Oaks, and it will have 275 various types of homes, duplexes, townhouses, single-family homes, and it's going to be priced for our workforce. And this is for teachers and firemen and policemen and tradesmen, that affordable price point that our workforce can buy.
Now, you've got something else coming up for the kids, trunk or treat. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
This actually was started by my wife and I 5 years ago. Last night was my 5th year on the council. And we got a small group of people from Magnolia Crossing, where we live, maybe about a dozen cars. And it was a way we tried to get people from Old Hardyville and New Hardyville, which is Sun City, involved with each other. Well, it was a huge success, and now 5 years later, our Parks and Rec team took it over, and it's a big festival. Now this year, something different. We're having a drive-through. The cars are going to be spaced 6 feet apart. People can hand the candy into cars that just go by. No walkers.
Oh, that's a great
Everything will be masked, and it'll be very safe and controlled.
Now, you're starting to teach a class at Ollie?
This will be, I think, our 3rd or 4th, but this is the first one that is titled The Next Generation. Starship Hardyville, The Next Generation. It's next Thursday at 10 o'clock, and we're going to talk about, we'll show what has happened in the last 5 years, but we're going to concentrate on what's coming at the next 5 years.
Well, Harry, as always, it's wonderful catching up with you on what's going on in Hardyville. Thank you.
Nice to hear what's going on around us, Georgia.
Now, we've had some exciting news right here in Sun City. Just in case you missed it, Joanne, give us the story.
It was the event of the month, maybe the year. A new amenity opened in Sun City, the Argent Lakes Pub and Pizzeria, affectionately known as Al's. And our Sun City crew was there.
Well, we're here at the opening of the Argent Lakes Pub and Pizzeria, and I'm here with Doug Hart, who's going to be the general manager of this beautiful, beautiful place. Doug, tell us what are you going to have here?
Well, as the name suggests, pub, so it's a great place to drink, and pizzeria, so pizza, obviously, and shared appetizers, kind of like wings, some really great pretzels, tater tots with beer cheese and bacon and green onions. I could go on, but that kind of gives the idea, right?
Well, I tell you, I'm starting to get hungry already, boy. And the pizza, I understand, is the dough is coming from somewhere and the sauce is coming from somewhere. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so the dough is from New York City, of course. You know, it's got to be the real deal.
Oh, for sure. I'm from New York.
Yeah. And the tomatoes, we found a family farm in California that packages them fresh, and the sauce is ready to go. It's lightly sweet. You know, it's just got a great flavor. And the other thing is our cheese has just a little bit of buffalo milk in it, So it can't technically be called mozzarella, but that buffalo milk adds a little extra creaminess, richness, and it just melts perfectly. And then to top it off, we have a pizza oven that will cook a pizza in 3 minutes. So
And can you get all those fantastic toppings?
oh, absolutely. Everything from, vegetables to arugula, prosciutto, meatballs, and we have 2 different kinds of pepperoni. We have a traditional pepperoni that kind of everybody knows. We also have one called an old world pepperoni, which has a natural casing. So when it cooks, it shrinks up into a little cup, and the edges get a little bit charred. So, yeah.
I can't wait. This sounds good. And you're going to have appetizers?
Right, all the appetizers right now are that kind of pub sharing feeling, and once we get a little while under our, under the belt and figure things out, I see no reason why we can't, maybe expand the hours, expand the menu. A lot of people have been asking, to be open for lunch. So we get that.
There are a lot of people that go out here to play tennis or pickleball or golf early, and when they get off, they like to have a little something to eat or a little something to drink or whatever. So lunch would be a biggie for them. But we'll wait and see how you guys do.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And were you going to have takeout too? Takeout pizza?
Yep. People will be able to order for takeout. Yeah. Or they can come here and order, and only won't take very long either. So.
All right. Well, Doug, I wish you a lot of luck. And this place is awesome looking, and I sure hope the food's going to be just as awesome.
I think so.
Okay, I'm sure of it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'm here in the kitchen of the Argent Lakes Pizzeria and Pub. I'm out here with Calvin, and Calvin, this is his domain. This is where you do all your work, Calvin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how many pizzas can you make in a day?
Roughly about 200.
200? Whoa, wee! That's a lot of pizza. Well, I'm here with Harry Williams, who's the mayor of Hardeeville. So we're in Hardeeville, Harry, and this is a big event here for Sun City and for Hardeeville. So what do you think of this?
Well, it's really terrific. We're proud that Sun City is within our city limits. Sun City has brought us so many opportunities and advantages that we wouldn't have had. So this is a wonderful thing, and I know I only live a couple blocks from here, so I'm sure this is going to be more than a restaurant. This is going to be a hangout for a lot of my neighbors and myself. So it's a beautiful facility. It adds so much to our community. We're proud to be part of Sun City.
So you can come here, Harry, if you're only a couple of blocks, you can come here and order some pizzas, and you could even walk here and pick them up, right?
I could walk here, and when I finish playing golf, I can come here afterwards. There's a lot of things that you can do, and you just said it. We came through here, and there's a wonderful breeze here, even though it's almost 90 degrees. So it really is a very comfortable place to sit and enjoy.
It's going to be fun because if you come off of the golf course, or the pickleball courts are here, the tennis courts are here, and you got a great place
to... And the lake house.
And the lake house. And the pool.
And the pool, so
don't go home. Get a pizza, eat it here.
It's so convenient. And that's what a lot of people on the north side have been looking forward to. A place that they can walk to, drive their golf carts in a couple of minutes, and enjoy without taking a long drive. And
we're so very pleased to be able to open this venue up today for the residents to enjoy. 3, 2, 1, cut. Yeah!
Another reason to be thankful that we live in Sun City.
And let's throw a little gratitude to our Sun City TV crew. Georgia, please fill us in.
Last month, thanks to the creative talents and even some manual labor of our SCTV crew, our Sun City News got an update with a new set design, new backgrounds, and a new feature called News You Can Use. Each week, you can catch tips you can use about technology, wine, our outlying communities, or clubs. Here's a glimpse.
Well, Sun City Television heads into fall with a new look for our news. We hope you like it. Now the premiere of our segment, News You Can Use.
My goal is to make you aware of some of the issues, to give you some suggestions on how to keep you safe from those who are out to steal your money and your personal data.
Our organization consists of 830 members, 19% of which are women. We share a common interest in woodworking projects and model building.
The U.S. does not have any regulations regarding sugar labeling, so checking with the winery may help. The trade-off, more alcohol or more sugar.
I'm Joanne Hines. Please check out the program guide in Sun Stations and the Sun City website for our other Sun City TV monthly shows.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Thank you for watching. Please join us again next month as we bring you extra coverage of stories and features from Sun City News. Happy Thanksgiving!